All right, Gunnar and Chow backstage, Moondance Jam 25. Chow, this is going to be good. We're with Sam from Chevelle. Welcome to Walker, Minnesota.
Thank you. It's very glamorous back here, as you can see.
Yeah, there's nice wolf carvings on the wall.
I know.
There's even
we had somebody come and set this up for us before.
Yeah. Is that on your rider?
Yeah, it's on a rider. We took Jennifer Lopez's rider and then added a few things to it and had them. That's why it's all white and perfectly.
That's how you get that, diva mentality.
This also makes sense because there is a Christmas tree in the corner, and rumor has it she loves Christmas.
It's true, yeah. And the sauna over there we bring that in special.
So, Sam, what's been going on? I mean, you guys are out on tour. You got the new album out, The North Corridor.
Yes.
What's the reaction to that been? Because we listened to it and we're like, this is heavy. This is good. I like it, man.
It's been a surprisingly good reaction, probably a better reaction to this record, better reviews than we've gotten on the last two records. And we didn't know what was going to happen because we were writing heavy music because that's what we like, So we didn't know what was going to happen, but people are really digging it. So we got to start playing more songs off that record live.
Yeah, how many are you playing on the set right now?
We have 6 that we can do right now that we've practiced enough to do. We went usually about 3. Because, live people we have 8 records now. Everyone wants to hear certain things. So we figure about 3 or 4 songs from the new record is enough. Because, it's like you go to see a band you really like and they play the whole new record and you're like,
No, that's totally true. I actually saw Aerosmith do that one time like 10 years ago. They came out and played like their whole new album front to back. I almost walked out.
Yeah, because you didn't know. If they had sort of peppered those songs in there and given you time to get to know them. So that's where we're at with it. So
the thing with you guys, though, your new album is awesome. Aerosmith, their album kind of sucks. So.
Oh, geez.
It's hard to be great your entire life.
What a damning comment. Well, it's been a wild day, man, because we had this terrible storm last night, and it knocked out the power here till like 2 p.m. today. So have you guys ever had a show that just flat out been canceled because of a storm the day before? No electricity? It was just bizarre.
We have had shows that have been canceled because there was no power. Well, one, and then another one, during our set, the generators kept shutting down, and we tried restarting like 4 times, and by the 4th time we had eaten up enough of our set that they're like, well, we're gonna fix the generator, but it's gonna take the rest of your set, so you're out. So that sucked because everybody was mad at us, like we had something to do with it, but we didn't. But the cool thing was the promoter gave us $1,000 to go to dinner. So we all took our crew, and we all went to like the fanciest restaurant in town and spent $1,500 on.
So sometimes you almost root for things like this to happen, right?
It always feels bad if you don't play. If your set gets cut short, if something goes wrong, you always kind of feel bad because you know that they may not get the chance to see you again, whatever. So it's important to, not just for them, but for us too. Like, we want to feel fulfilled with the show. Yeah. We want to know that we went out there and did, left it all on the court, so to speak.
Yeah. Now, last week you guys played Chicago Open Air, and we were watching a bunch of videos. You guys played, right before Rammstein? How was that?
That was a trip, man, because I don't know if anyone knows who Rammstein is. It's like heavy freaking Ministry type Marilyn Manson rock with Cirque du Soleil fire.
Yeah.
It was intense and inspiring in some ways. I think as a fan watching that show, because I've never seen their show, I've only seen YouTube clips and things, and as a fan watching their show, it kind of gave us this new found sort of idea of watching a show from a fan's point of view, and maybe some of the light things that we do, which certainly are not on par with Rammstein, but still our show, maybe sometimes we think maybe this might be a little silly or whatever, actually makes a difference to people. It adds to the song.
I have this figured out. Pete needs to come out with a guitar, and on the end of that guitar, flamethrower. Just start, throwing some flames out there.
They did that.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah,
they did that. He had a mask that was shooting flames out of it. He had flames. He had like a pot of flames. Like he was holding like a pot, like a bucket of flames.
Yeah.
And then he poured the flames out into a bigger bucket, and then a guy came out of it. It was amazing.
That's like a magic show.
It was a magic show.
It is a magic show. I love Rammstein, and I'm super jealous you guys were there because that's their only show in America this year. One thing I'm not jealous of, though. A couple months ago, you two talked on the phone. I wasn't there, and when I listened back to the interview to put it on YouTube, he asked you the dumbest question I've ever heard.
I didn't know this was coming.
Well, it's coming now, man. I'm throwing you under the bus. So I just want your perspective here. He was talking about how bands continue on with new singers, and he asked you, could Chevelle continue without Pete? Which to me was just a ludicrous question. So do you guys, or you personally, do you ever get asked a question and then you get done with the interview and you just think, that guy's a dumbass. Why do I even do these interviews?
I mean, that's certainly come up before, but that was definitely not the dumbest question I've been asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're off the hook, Gunnar.
Yeah.
Well, I feel better now. I mean, come on, man. I'm sorry about that. You know, when he heard it, he's like, dude, worst question ever.
Well, we actually do get asked that question, and if you think about all the different bands, like some of the bigger bands, AC/DC, Van Halen, these things that they've made it happen, where Van Halen's thing is they had a guy that doesn't sound anything like David Lee Roth, and AC/DC, they had a guy that sounds exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
What would you go? I mean, obviously, we couldn't continue Chevelle if Pete left because we own it. So
Family system, just like the song, you know?
I mean, so we could be like a parody of ourselves. I don't know. There's probably some dude out there on YouTube who sounds exactly like him that we could hire, like the guy from Journey.
Well, maybe someday, if that ultimately does happen, you can have the ultimate tribute to Chevelle.
Right, the
you
ultimate
know, you could be in charge of that.
We'll go to be the ultimate tribute to Chevelle, and we'll show up, and there'll be like 80 cars. This was not what we expected.
Yeah, you're like, oh, man, I didn't know this is a car show. We're going to play a rock show.
So what do you guys got coming up the rest of the year?
Man, we're just working on our schedule. Right now, we're taking treatments for videos. So we want to try to get 2 videos done at once. We're trying to work out what the second single is, which we don't know. We kind of have an inkling that it might be Door to Door Cannibals, which is the first song from North Corridor. There's a couple other ideas. I don't know what to have be the second single. Everyone's kind of throwing their hands up in the air. But we're going to try and shoot a video for the first and second single for Joyride, and then whatever is the second single. We have a lot of touring through October, some stuff in December, and then to Europe with which hasn't actually been announced yet, so I'm probably not supposed to say it. But
gag order.
2 really cool metal bands, and
hopefully one's Rammstein.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Okay, well,
and yes, I wish it was. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing. You know, we watched that show with Rammstein. We watched the whole thing out front because you couldn't go on the stage because it was 1,000 degrees of fire.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't go anywhere near the stage. So you could just go on the front. But they had like an area where you could go just off like a wing kind of. So you could basically see pretty much the whole show, but you were only about 50 feet or so from the stage. The fire was like, it was so hot you had to cover your face. But they're like right there next to it.
Every night.
And the explosions with your earplugs were still loud.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get away with that stuff.
Have you guys ever thought about, putting any pyro in your show? Like even when you come out, just...
I mean, it would our entire guarantee to do like one pyro gig would be every penny we make on that show. I think that their gig's like $250,000 in pyro.
Oh my God. Yeah. Every show.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It could be as low as $175.
Well,
but just to do a few pyro gigs, it would probably be, $25,000, $30,000 just to do like a couple of little gags.
I guess I'm not going to be able to afford Rammstein for my niece's second birthday. So much for that, huh?
Was I going to get invited to that?
No, you weren't.
Yeah, it's definitely list only.
Well, Sam, we're super stoked for the show today. So glad the power came back on because that was just a weird situation.
So yeah, fortunately we got it on so we can hear this guy back here doing Spanish versions of Hotel Pilot songs. Perfect.
Well, Sam, thanks so much for taking the time. It's Moondance Jam 25. New album, The North Quarter, is out now. It is heavy as hell, and it is awesome. Thanks a lot, man. We're looking forward to the show.
Awesome.